Hi friends. In this tutorial, we are going to show how the NotGate is going to work. And in fact, NotGate you can actually make it out of a couple of transistors uh, with a circuit. So this I'm planning to show you the in the next tutorial. But before that, let's see the how the NotGate as a chip will work. So NotGate basically, before getting to that stuff, we'll see the basic setup of the breadboard in here. I have a simple breadboard. So the positive is basically this red, and the negative is a black wire. So I just bridge it this rail of wires here, and the bottom of stuff as well. And I have a nice gridded bridge here. So this you can buy it or you can actually make it yourself. This has a small bridge setup where the positive and negative is actually bridged to the next end of the breadboard. So you can see it here. So this is a nice little pin. So I'm using this to basically bridge it for the next for the adjacent lines. I'm just connecting it back again. So I have a small LED setup here. Basically, you can look at here. So this is the LED setup I have, which is already soldered to 1K resistor, so that this LED will not burn. So I have a nice little USB port connected with positive negative supply. In fact, if you don't have this one, you can directly plug in the battery with a wire, but I just want to keep it very simple. So I have this setup, so I've just connected here. You can look at it. My breadboard now connects and supply the electricity properly from this rail to this rail, and I have the in between sandwich board to actually work with. So this is the basic setup I have. Now I'm planning to put a chip in between. So you can see this chip here. I'm just trying to connect the chip. So this is a sandwich between these two things. So you can see, I'll just zoom in the chip to see. Yeah. So this is the chip I'm going to use. Since I'm going to show NotGate, so NotGate has a number called 7404. So I'll tell you how to read the chip. Basically, this one you're seeing MC. Basically, this is the manufacturer, and this is the number of the chip. So basically, this chip is a 7404 chip. You can read it here. So 7404 ACT, the in between stuff, which tells what quad of chip input is it, all this informations. So basically, we call this chip 7404. So before getting to how this NOT gate works, let's I'll show a circuit diagram here. I'll just pull in a circuit diagram here. So, yeah. So this is a basic how the chip basically has the same structure. So this is how you have to. This is from left actually you have to read, and this signifies that there will be a small dot. You can see it in the chip as well, and there is a small dot here which tells where the first pin starts from. So basically this configuration is in a 14 pin chip, and you can see from 1 2 3, so it goes on till 7 here, and 8 9 10 till 14. So basically these two pins, pin 7 and pin 14, is actually for ground, and this one for VCC. Actually, if you see the data sheet, probably we can give plus 5 volt, and the remaining chip basically has NOT gates. So basically this chip does not ship with only one NOT gate. It has several NOT gates actually. You can see, so basically this is the symbol of the NOT gate. This basically, if you send one, it will give 0. If you send 0, it will give 1, which means when you send a supply, you won't get anything out of the output. But if you send 0, it will get some output. So that's a basically, it is also called inverter. So this NOT gate is actually significant in many of our chip or any circuits which are actually building. This is basically negation part. So in here in this chip we are actually having about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of NOT gate. I can tell you this is basically an input and output. This similarly, this is also input and output, and here also input, output. And also if you look at this will have similar things. This is an input, output, 13 is an input, and 12th pin is an output. Similarly we have here. And we have one more. So between 9 and 8. So this cannot be used since we already grounded this, and this one is actually supplied with plus 5 volt. So basically, if you look at this way, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a 14 pin NOT gate chip, that is 7404. You'll get at least 6 NOT gate. You can actually use 6 NOT gates in here. So this NOT gates is basically, you can also build it as a transistor, but that is a little complex structure. So this way, this chip will be better used, since this chip will be shipped with 6 NOT gates. Okay, now I'm going to show you how this NOT gate is going to work. I'll just remove this stuff. And before that, I also showed you this is a truth table of the NOT gate. So assume there is an input and output. There's an input, there's an output. If you supply 1, and the output will be 0. If you supply 0, the output will be 1. This is a very simple truth table of NOT gate. So I'm going to show you right now how it's going to work directly using this NOT gate chip. So now we are going to see how this chip NOT gate is going to work. 7404. I already mentioned that the number of the chip, the chip number you can identify from this one, 7404. And you can see, as I earlier said, you can see a dot here, which significantly says the pin starts from here. This is pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this 7th pin, as per datasheet and circuit diagram, this 7th pin needs to be grounded, which means this has to connect it to negative. And this is the 8th pin, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is a 14 pin configuration. This 14 pin basically needs to be connected to the supply, which is the positive terminal. So I just zoom in back again. So basically this let's see how this NOT gate works as a chip. I'll connect the positive, which is I color coded as red. So positive supply to the VCC. Before that, I'm going to disconnect the supply. You can see, once I disconnected, this LED will start glowing. So basically I have this connection which I bridged here. So I'm connecting the positive to the 14th pin to the VCC basically. And as I said earlier, it's all basically positive. For me, positive is basically the red color, and negative can be black or blue. So now I have to connect the 7th pin to the ground. So I took a black color jumper wire and connecting it to the ground, which is negative. So now my chip is actually enabled with supply and ground. So we made it work. But to show the output, so basically, I'm going to use this 2 pin as a NOT gate. So I'll supply something to this pin and I'll get output in this pin. So this is the one NOT gate which I'm going to use now. So I'm going to give the input through this blue wire. So for now I just kept it open, and the output is going to be the yellow wire. So I'm going to receive output here. So to see the output, whether it's coming or not, so I'm going to connect a LED light for that. So I'm going to connect an LED light here. So I have, so as per LED norms, the longest terminal is actually the positive, and the shorter one is a negative. So this is the positive. So I know it's a positive. So I'm going to connect to the top of the breadboard. So I'm just bridging this breadboard with positive and negative. So as I said, this is a positive terminal. So I'm going to connect the output in there. Since this breadboard, this complete series is actually a connected series, so I can connect to any pin for this output. Currently I'm connecting to the top, and the negative I'm going to ground it with a 1K resistor. So that way, I will not burn out the LED. So I'm just taking the 1K resistor here. I'm going to connect the negative of LED to the ground. I'm directly connecting here. You can connect through jumper again. So now let's see the output of an inverter. So now since nothing is connected, you can see the LED is glowing, and which means I'm not supplying anything, it's still on. If I'm trying to supply with a positive, basically positive is actually the red wire bridge here. So if I supply something positive there, you can see the LED is not glowing, the orange LED is not glowing. And if I connect it with the negative supply, it still glows. So that's a basic of NOT gate. When there is no supply, you will get no supply. If there is no, if you're supplying some positive volt to it, you will get nothing. So that's the basic of the 7404 chip. In fact, you can actually take an input and output, like as I earlier said, with the chip diagram. You can get 6 NOT gate in here, and you can make it work. This is a very basic NOT gate functionality. We'll meet you in the next tutorial with AND gate, truth table, and AND gate circuit diagrams. Thanks.